Imagine a 7-ton space rock, the size of a small car, screaming towards Earth at 45,000 miles an hour, and exploding with the force of a bomb right over Cleveland, Ohio. And just days later, another massive fireball rips across the daytime skyline in Houston, shaking homes across the region and actually dropping a piece of meteor right through someone's roof. And that's not even half of it. This March, the fireball has been lighting up the sky from California to Europe like we've never seen before. So is that Earth passing through some kind of cosmic shooting gallery? Or is something bigger going on? Stick around. We're going to dive into it. So this all actually started in late February with a large meteor showing up in Germany and allegedly hitting the ground. March 2nd through the 4th, we had fireballs over Louisiana, the Pacific Northwest, and Vancouver. They even heard sonic booms in British Columbia. March 8th through the 11th, another massive bright fireball showed up in Europe, seen in Belgium, France, Germany, Luxembourg, the Netherlands, and parts of Switzerland. This was seen by 3,229 people who reported it. Lasted 5 or 6 seconds. There were sonic booms that were witnessed by 147 people. And there were pieces of meteors recovered in Germany again. March 17th, of course, was the large 7-ton meteor that flew over Cleveland and exploded in the air, shaking houses and windows. March 21st, the big daylight one in Houston was seen from Dallas-Fort Worth to Rockport, traveling at roughly 35,000 miles an hour. Of course, produced large sonic booms and may have dropped a meteorite in someone's living room. March 22nd, a bright streak went across the skies of California, Arizona, and Nevada. This was the third prominent fireball in a week. And these sightings aren't slowing down any. March 23rd and 24th, multiple bright fireballs were seen over the Midwest coast, including a green fireball over Oregon and Northern California. There were also events visible in Illinois, Indiana, Michigan, Ohio, and Wisconsin. March 25th, still going, numerous fireballs are reported worldwide, including events in Italy and Spain. This is the highest activity we've seen in years, and AMS has reported that there's been thousands of reports over the last 30 days. This is highly unusual. Now, meteor showers themselves aren't that unusual. They happen several times a year. We know when they're coming. We know what direction to look for them. You'll see it in the news or on YouTube or someplace else saying, hey, tonight, look up to the northwest and you may see several meteors an hour because of such and such a meteor shower. But right now, there's no meteor shower scheduled. And most meteors burn up in the atmosphere and never make it to the ground. However, several have made it to the ground, which means they're made up of some harder material than the normal meteors that come through our atmosphere. And all these meteors, no warnings whatsoever. According to scientists, that's because they're coming from the direction of the sun where we can't aim our telescopes and satellites and look, which is a direction that very few meteors come from. And of course, no explanation has been given of why these meteors are showing up all of a sudden. Now, there are theories that this possibly could be a debris field from our recent 3-eye Atlas visitor, which I suppose is a possibility and at least would explain things, but they haven't officially announced that at this point in time. Now, these meteors themselves may not be enough to rouse suspicion. However, there's some very interesting facts surrounding these meteors. For instance, right after the first ones were starting to be spotted, retired U.S. Major Air Force General William Neal McCaslin vanished from his home in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Now, what he did before he retired was he was head of the Air Force Research Laboratory at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. Now, if you know anything about conspiracy theories and the history of UFOs, things like that, Wright-Patterson Air Force Base is right in the middle of all those conversations. And there has been absolutely no trace of him whatsoever. They have found no clues, no evidence, no nothing. Now, he was also good friends with Monica Reza, who was a NASA aerospace engineer, who also went missing June of 2025 with no signs of her whatsoever, vanished into thin air. So not only these two have gone completely missing, but several UFO researchers have met an untimely demise as of lately. Nuno Loureiro, who was the director of MIT's Plasma Science and Fusion Center, passed away mysteriously in December. Carl Gromore, who was head of Caltech's Astroscience and Infrared Processing Analysis Center, passed away mysteriously February 16th, 2026. And Jason Thomas, who was the assistant director of chemical and biological at Novartis, which has active Department of Defense contracts. So, all these events are being reported individually, but if you lump them all together, things just aren't adding up. Is our government hiding something from us or from the world? Would they actually tell us if a large meteor was on a collision course with us? Personally, I don't think they would. I think they just let us go on living our everyday lives, knowing that there's nothing they could do about it anyway. So this is a scary reality that we're kind of living in right now. And of course, Hollywood, people say Hollywood kind of warns us of things to come. Do y'all remember the movie Don't Look Up, where they hid the incoming asteroid impact from the world? Kind of interesting, isn't it? Well, if a major asteroid is going to hit the Earth, I really don't think there's much we can do about it. So I wouldn't be too awful worried. However, might want to keep your eyes in the sky. And of course, as preppers, you may want to keep some supplies handy. Maybe as much stuff as you can stock up on right now. Because not only is the world on fire, but now we got this coming on top of it. Of course, if it would impact far enough away from you, you might be okay. If you got enough supplies to survive through the initial chaos that would ensue afterwards. Guys, I don't know. This is looking awful suspicious to me. So keep your shelves stocked, your bug out bag close by, your self-defense items cleaned and ready to go. And like always, don't wait for SHTF, because it's not going to wait for you. This is Ohio Valley Prepping, signing off. We'll see y'all on the next one.